Welcome back to limited edition, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, I still have the 88 LTD Crown Vic, and I refuse to sell it to 4 people. Let me tell you their stories. Well, as the title says, I refuse to sell this car to a couple of people, and there's a reason why. I have done that before people jump and start, telling me that I am a crazy person. Let me tell you why I have done that. And there are 4 people so far that wanted to buy this car, and I refused because I want this car to go to a good home, and I want this all original 1988 Crown Victoria to live on. It survived for 35 years, and every person so far who wanted to buy this wanted to do something to it. And the first guy was from Wisconsin, and he agreed, on the full price and all that good stuff. I kind of asked him, it's like, hey, what are you gonna do with the car? And he goes, well, it's gonna be my daily driver. And I was like, well, that's fine, but are you gonna drive this car in the winter? He goes, yeah, daily driver. I want a classic car to drive every day. And I was like, you live in Wisconsin, you have salt on the road, like 9 months of the year, it's freaking winter, why do you want to do it to this car? One winter on the salt roads, just throw it away. He goes, well, what do you care? It's my money, I do whatever I want with it, which is true. But the bottom line is that I refused to sell him the car, and he got really, really upset. He goes, well, what the hell's wrong with you, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to leave you a negative review and all that stuff. It's like, go ahead, leave me a negative review. What are you going to say? I refuse to sell your car because you're going to fuck it up? I understand his position too, but it happened to me before. Somebody actually left me a negative review, a couple of years ago on the watch forum because I refused to sell a watch to a lady who was a complete Karen. And after she asked me like 50,000 questions about the watch, I was like, listen, this is not for you. I know where this is going. Even if I sell you this watch, it's going to come back because you're going to bitch and whine about something. And then she went and left like a lengthy post, like blah, 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 whatever. So I didn't sell him the car. I didn't want this thing to go through a salt, winter, because it's gonna be garbage. You're gonna throw this car away. And here's how original this car is. It still has its original Ford muffler. The exhaust is all original. This is how rust-free and clean this car is. And find me another one. Find another one of these in this condition. I look, almost daily. They don't exist. None of them survived like this. And here's the thing about the 88 and 89. It's actually harder to find a nicer 88 and 89 than say 1990 or 1991. By that time, people knew that they're going to be discontinued, going to be new body style. So a lot of these were actually preserved. But the problem with the 90 and 1991 is that they upgraded the steering column. Okay, so in 1990 they introduced a different steering column with an airbag, different cluster. And I think it's so ugly, it just doesn't fit this car because it was really designed for 1990 town car and the newer body styles, which it looks okay in it. But in this box cars, it just looks terrible. And then what they did in 1990, they added, there's like a speaker grill in here that looks like a Tuma.
It's not a Tuma.
So I think the 88 and 89 has the most beautiful interior. It fits the car, a very classic looking steering wheel, and I don't know, but that's just me. So that was the first guy. The second guy was the truck driver. So he called and wanted to buy the car. And the first thing he says, well, I'm gonna put a Coyote 5.0 and I'm gonna upgrade the drivetrain. I'm gonna turn it into a sleeper. It's like, dude, why? Why do you want to do it to this car? Why don't you go buy some junk and do it to that? Go buy a car that's mechanically, busted or whatever, maybe a nice cosmetic condition, and do it to that car. Why do you want to take this all original car and fuck it up? I don't understand it. And I was like, listen, it's probably not the right thing to do. And then, he disappeared. He ghosted me. Third guy was local. He came in, looked at the car, liked it, blah, blah, blah. But he said that, I don't have any, garage space. I don't have any storage. This car's going to sit outside. A year in the Florida sun, again, this is the problem. It's an old car. It's 35 years old. It's fragile. You know what I mean? So this is something that I want this to go to someone, who's going to cherish it, who's going to preserve it. I don't mind if somebody drives it. I can't control what people do after it leaves here, but to a certain degree, I can screen a buyer and see what they're going to do with the car. So that was the third guy, and then the fourth guy was actually a friend of mine. He bought several cars off of me, and I know him. I know him too well. I know exactly what he's going to do. He can't leave anything alone. The minute he's going to buy the car, he's going to put some wheels on it and stereo and this and that. So I refused, and it's kind of gotten almost ugly. And I hope it doesn't see this video, but money doesn't really buy you taste. Just because someone has money doesn't mean they have taste. So I know exactly what he's gonna do. He's gonna put a stereo in it like this is 1995 or something. You know what I mean? Like who does that anymore? You know what I mean? He's gonna put some boombox and some garbage in this car, and you're gonna have some Mickey Mouse installer. Yeah, rip off these door panels that haven't been touched by anyone. And chop up factory wiring and put some subwoofers in the back and remove the trim pieces. I mean, like why? And we're going back and forth, and he's like, well, I thought we were friends and this and that. It's like, dude, this is not the car for you. Like just leave it alone. Like, why you gotta do it? I'll sell you the car if you promise you're not gonna do shit to it. And at least he's honest with me, because no, I gotta put a stereo in it. It's like, oh well, then you're not getting it. So I'm sorry, I'm not selling you the car. I mean, look at this, someone's gonna sit here, like start ripping off all these panels, all this stuff, just so you can put some piece of shit, Kenwood speaker in here. Like, come on, like there are plenty of cars you can do this to, without, trying to molest this old original car. There's other examples out there, maybe not as nice as this one, but you can modify them to death, but just leave this one alone. It's a classic car, but that's my take. I don't know. I might be wrong. I'm sure I'm gonna hear about it, but I really hope that this car goes to a good home, and somebody buys it who's gonna preserve it, and it gonna lives on, hopefully another 35 years. So that's the 88. It's still here. If anybody's interested, all my contact information is in the description. So give me a jingle. Thanks for watching. Peace.